everyone, this is Beth from Art by Bedell. Today is January 19th. Our prompt is interactive, and I am here with Journal January, and the page that I want to use in my journal today are in the center here of my journal, in between the first and the second signature. I want to use this page and this page. Usually I do a layout this way, but I want to do incorporating these two pages. So for the first page, I want to make that into a little booklet. I have cut some coffee stain papers down to approximate size. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger than what that page is, and that's okay. What I'm going to use today throughout both parts of this page, this interactive page, is a 12 by 12 piece of acetate that I had back in my scrapping days, and I've taken and cut it down, and this one, as you see, says time, and it has a clock on it. So my whole layout is going to be about time. If I would have had this at the beginning of January, it would have been pretty cool to use this paper then on whatever prompt it was. But I just found it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's still January. I mean, we can relate to time as far as that goes. You can relate to time any time of the year. But anyhow, enough jabbering. This is real simple. On the back of that page, I want to add another piece of that acetate, and it says New Beginnings and refers to time. So the back of the page is going to be quite easy to do. I will need to go, and I think I'll just, because it's only two papers, I'm just going to stitch down through the middle of that and stitch this on the front. Now, that's pretty enough. I could just put that in there and have my time and my New Beginning pieces of acetate on both sides of that. Then I could stitch it down, but I want it on here. I want this on here. Now I can't stitch it down because it's in the journal, and then I was going to glue this page to this page, and that's what's going to hold this into the journal. So let me go stitch this with my sewing machine, or I do have, you know what guys? I have some brown embroidery floss here. Let's just use the brown embroidery floss. We'll do just a couple stitches down through the center is going to hold that. So I will just put 3 strands of thread through my needle, put a knot in the end, take my papers, put them together like so, and I will go, let's just do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch with embroidery floss, like that. And I don't have to measure for this, I can just guess this. And then we'll come back up through the middle here on the opposite side that we went down through, trying not to split our embroidery floss. And then we can tie that in a knot, and we have our little mini journal. So I didn't need to tie a knot on the end of that. I did because I thought I was going to do a running stitch, and then decided to do this 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So, okay, so that's that on there, and that makes our little mini journal for in our book. So I'm going to now take my piece of acetate here, and I'm going to put some art glitter glue, if I can get into it. What I need is, I need to get myself a new bottle. I mean, I have the refill bottle, but I need a new bottle with one of those nice little metal nibs on it. I have lost the cap to this. So I will put 4 little dabs of glue on the corner of this piece of acetate. Like I say, if I can get my glue to come out. I don't need much, just a little dab. Oops, that's too much on that corner. And then I'm going to put this on top of that paper. Now that paper was some that was already in my journal. It was a page that I had added into my journal. And it had like inks, I do believe, on it. So I'm going to hold this down just for a minute or so. And then I will take the same glue and put it on the back of this paper and glue in my little journal. Actually, I am getting ahead of myself. I need to add this to the back of that journal page. So again, 4 little dabs. Those were bigger dabs than needed. So push that aside for a second. And this piece of acetate is going to go on the back side like that. And I will hold that down for a minute till this glue takes hold. All right, now I will take this and I will glue it on the inside like that. Press that down. And the page is a little crooked, so my acetate looks a little crooked, but it's okay. And now my little journal is attached to the inside. So that's the first part of my interactive element, is the little journal that I can write all about time and how fast it's passing away. Now on this side, I have another piece that was going to cover this whole, another piece of acetate that's going to cover this whole page. Now this page is out of a vintage book, and it has a layer of gesso and then some stenciling with some distress oxide ink. So this is going to go on here, but before it can go on there, I'm going to take my little black pen. I have a time card. A friend of mine gave a lot of these time cards to me. I just love them. They're just perfect. So I want to make a slit in my acetate for a pocket. So I'm going to put my pocket right about here, and it needs to be at least this wide, maybe a little wider. So I have my marks on there. I'm going to take a mat and my utility knife and a little ruler. I'm going to line up my lines here and try to get this straight. So if I go here to here, and I'm going to start, so I'm going to start here and just cut a slit, and I'm going to go beyond it here. Oops, I went way too far. Luckily it didn't cut. Okay, so let's try this again, and it'll cut this time, and I won't go as far. And I don't have another piece of this, so hopefully that's not ruined. So if I take my time card now and put that down inside there, yeah, it needs a little more space. So I'm going to go a little toward the other edge because I went too far in this edge. I don't want to monkey with that. And where did I go to? Here. Let's go to here. And now see if our time card fits down inside there, which it does almost. Wants to catch on it there. There we go. So that's our pocket. Put this stuff away here. And we will glue our acetate down, and we can glue that on all 4 sides. So that's what we'll do. And then we'll put that down on our page, and we will hold that down for a few minutes until the glue sets up. Actually, why I'm not going to mess with that right now. I'm going to take something heavy. So if I put my watercolor tray down there and hold that on the seam, set this aside, and we'll work on our tag that we're going to use. Now, for our tag, I don't want to hide this. It speaks time. Our layout is about time. So I don't want to hide this, but I do want to put something pretty on the front. So I pulled out my Ultimate Plant and Garden book here, and I'm going to find a flower or something that I want to put over here on this that I could fussy cut out. A fern, maybe. I should have chosen this before we got to this point. So let me find something and I'll be right back. All right, so I found this gladiola and I cut that out, fussy cut that out. And I want to put a little bit of print behind it. So let me see. I think that would be pretty. So let's get, like I said, I don't want to cover up all of that, but I do need to add something to it. So let's do maybe some of this. And this is some of this paper. This paper is out of a bullet journal that I had done, and I didn't use the pages. And so I ripped some of them out. And I'm going to put that on there, just like that. And find maybe a little something else to go under there also. So let's get our, maybe a little more color. How about this piece of paper that has some blue and some orange on it? We'll tear it down a little bit. Put that on there like that. And that will go with our orange gladiola like that. And I'm not so sure I'm liking it on that side. I'm not so sure I'm liking that at all. What I actually liked was just this. The simplicity of that. I don't know, guys. I don't know whether that's not me to stop at just something so simple. Maybe just a piece of this fern. Yeah, I don't know that I even like that. Okay, so maybe not so much of it. That's okay like that. Let me turn that around and get the other part of the fern showing. Okay, we're going to go with that. Ink up the edges of it, and this is going to be very, very simple. Yeah, for wanting to keep the time card so that it actually, you can look at it and know what it is. The simplicity of that page is what is going to do it for us. So we're just going to glue these down with a glue stick. My glue stick of choice is Yoo-Hoo. This one's empty, almost empty. Let's get some of this glue out of here and use that. I'll go down here like this. I used a piece of this bullet journal paper in one of my other layouts that I had done for Junk Journal January. And I thought, oh my goodness, I need to use up those papers that I haven't used in that journal. And because of the dots that are on it, and then whatever I have added to it to make the bullet journal page, really is quite nice. It's no sense in just leaving it there to waste, right? Okay, so what I do have, clean this off, put this aside, is a stamp that says, we do not remember, we do not remember, we do not remember days, we do not remember moments. And I think I will stamp that like maybe off to the side, and right on top I'll use the black StazOn ink. Yes, and then we'll put a little bit of it on the back, right up here at the top. And then we have journal space here, and there is our tag. Okay, so I'm really liking that. Now let's get our book back and see how our acetate's holding up over here. See if it's glued down. It appears to be very securely glued down. So then our tag will go down inside this little slot here. Whoops, to make sure that all of our pieces are glued down. When we go to put them in a pocket, they're going to rip if they're not. So glue that corner down. And then let's see how we do here. It's a little tight, but it'll loosen up with use. And there we have our time card down inside our time page. So my interactive element is a pocket with a time card. Has a nice bright little gladiola on the front to add that spot of color in our black and white page that we have done here. And then we also have this time journal, this little mini time journal inside our bigger journal. So that's my interactive element for my journal. I hope you enjoyed this project, and if you don't have acetate like this, you can purchase it on Amazon, and then you could print on it whatever you want to print on it. Usually I'll go like into Word and I'll open up a blank document, and then I can add to that whatever I want, whether it's a photo, whether it's some word art or whatever. Maybe it's digital that I want to print out, and then I'll add it to that, and then I'll send it to be printed to my computer. And it's just as simple as that. So there is our interactive element, all about time. Thanks for watching, guys. You have a great day. We'll see you again soon.